What's up, NBA fan? What's up, all sports fans? This your boy JB, hosted the Behind the Bench Podcast Network and channel, giving a shout out to the rest of the crew: Shy, Kelvin, Jermaine, KB Film Room, Big Dog, Talk Sports. That's right, that's right. Everyone who's tuning in, thank you for supporting Behind the Bench. Subscribe to the channel, help make this show the best that it can be. Let's get right to it, man. Let's get right to it. The instincts, man. It's all about the instincts. It's all about, I believe in the basketball guys, Uh, I just believe in them, man. And to me, the basketball guys is the spirit of every basketball player who's competed in the NBA, who blood, sweat, and tears and sacrifice to help make this league what we now know of it when it started back and was founded in 1946. I believe in them, man. I really do. Uh, One's impact resonates year after year after year, decade after decade. Once they stop playing, their memory will always remain, especially the luminaries, man. And I came across this. Someone sent me this this morning, and as I say, the instincts. Your first mind, when you're really investing in something, your first mind will never lead you astray. And Wembyama, Victor Wembanyama, who's entering his third year already. Wow. You know, and he had a tremendous rookie year for himself. He had a tremendous rookie year for himself. And, he improved last year, but he suffered, I think he had like some blood clots or something like that, where he had to sit out the remainder of the year. But nonetheless, he sees the light. He sees the big picture, man. And this is a sign to me that that natural competitive spirit and zeal that superstars are supposed to uh, possess and carry out is slowly returning back to the forefront. Where superstars reject the idea of teaming up and joining forces, man. And it's like a sight to behold. It's a breath of fresh air, man. But more importantly, what he says right here, during the offseason, there were rumors that the San Antonio Spurs may try to acquire Kevin Durant. And the thing about KD is, man, what's unfortunate about his career is that he got caught up in the mix of the super team era. I don't believe Kevin Durant is a front runner, but I believe he resorted to the idea, or it may have been a stone cold reality, that he had to play the game in order to beat the Hurricane at his own game. But what he didn't anticipate was manufacture history in the talking heads or trying to tag him as being the person responsible for ushering in the super team era. And he did not do that. That's the downside to his career. Other than that, he's one of the top 5 greatest scorers of all time. Clearly, I mean, he has an innate natural ability to score the basketball. And he showed that, doing this 1 year in college, University of Texas. But what I like about Victor and what he said right here, this is what he said. Breaking up a young core for a single player rarely works. I want the Spurs to be a balanced team. They've been masters of the past. They've been masters of that in the past. Now, I'm going to repeat that. Breaking up a young core for a single player rarely works. I want the Spurs to be a balanced team. They've been masters of that in the past. And I'm going to tell you, I think the greatest contribution that this new generation of NBA stars will be remembered for is restoring the art of competition. That's a victory within itself. And their impact and their influence, man, is going to resonate in their own unique way that we saw from superstars of generations past, decades past. And we're literally seeing it take shape as we speak, especially when, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander led the Oklahoma City Thunder to the NBA championship. Small market team, started from the bottom up. They didn't rely on, bringing in hire mercenaries to try to pursue shortcut to winning. I'm telling you, man. And I think what happened to the NBA. I think what happened to the NBA is it grew so accustomed to promoting the super team era, they didn't anticipate the good that was soon to surface as this new decade started. It threw them off whack. And what should be of their best interest, they have been shunning over the past 5 years, really throughout this decade of the 2020s. And now they have to come to terms with the fact that what they've been trying to reject is what's saving the NBA. The super team era didn't save the NBA. The super team era almost took this league and suffocated it and nearly wiped it clean, wiped it away from history. And the player who I believe set the stage for this restoration of competition, and he should go down in history as such, is Giannis Antetokounmpo. He set the tone for this decade. He became a luminary by choosing to re-sign with Milwaukee after the 2019-2020 season. And he said, Milwaukee, the organization believes in me. The city believes in me. I believe in what we're doing. Let's go out there and win a championship. He set the tone for this decade. He really did. He really did. Because if he would have joined in on the fray, per se, and formed a super team, the NBA never would have recovered from that. The league would have never recovered if Giannis Antetokounmpo would have caved in and formed a super team. But he bucked that trend, no pun intended, but pun intended at the same time. And he led Milwaukee, a small market team, to his first championship in 50 years since Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Lou Alcindor led them to the title back in 1971. That's how significant that championship was in the NBA. But it wasn't celebrated the way it needed to be and the way it deserved to be. And I believe Giannis became frustrated by that. See, just like KD, he went to Golden State and he won that first championship with the Warriors. He thought he was going to be celebrated because he outplayed the Hurricane in the finals. He dropped 35 a game. He outplayed the Hurricane in the fourth quarters in both finals, 2017 and 2018. But they wasn't going to give him his just due. It wasn't going to happen. It wasn't going to happen. So my point is this. Well, the reason I'm doing this video, it's about what Wemby said about the young core. Breaking up a young core for a single player rarely works. And it gets to what I've been saying about my instincts this whole time. The original young core of the National Basketball Association in the one and done era was brought forth and drafted by none other than the Los Angeles Lakers. By none other than the Los Angeles Lakers. And if this franchise, I believe they had the vision. Everything was set for them to generate another era, another great era of Laker basketball. It was all there, people. But the day that they announced that they was bringing the hurricane to this franchise, the Lakers sealed their fate as to how they would have to operate in this decade. Because even with Luka Doncic on this team, because nobody ever saw that, even thought about Luka being traded from Dallas. Luka was snatched from his own team to save the Lakers from literally falling off the map, because the hurricane is near the end. And AD was on the back end of his prime. He just turned 32 this year. And they weren't winning because when they keep on saying, well, we have a future with Luka, what they're going to find is they're going to have to operate the same way with Luka that they've had to overall throughout the past 5 seasons after their bubble. They don't have a future because they already mortgaged it off. It's a simple example. Already mortgaged off the decade when they cashed out their young core for the hurricane. Period. And what Victor Wembanyama said proves to me that other organizations throughout the NBA, they have sat and watched what happened to the Lakers and how they've had to shake and bake over these past 5 seasons. And they want no parts of that because it's not guaranteeing anything but hype with no substance, smoke and mirrors without a clear-cut vision. And it's leading to disarray by season's end. And what we've been told about these teams entering the season has been proven to be the exact opposite by season's end, particularly early in the postseason where they've been eliminated 2 years straight in the first round by way of a gentleman's sweep. And they keep saying we in win now mode to win a championship, but with people that's invested in this quick now scheme, you have to get to point A before you get to point B. And this is why Michael Jordan said you cannot take shortcuts, because eventually the game will shortcut you. You'll be shortcutted out the process. Meaning Michael Jordan did not have the liberty to take one shortcut on any aspect in reaching the top of the mountain and becoming a champion. Kobe Bryant, after Shaquille O'Neal was traded to the Miami Heat from the Lakers in 2004, Kobe Bryant had to start all over again from the bottom and work his way up to the top. And it was a 5-year journey. So what I'm saying, man, I appreciate what Victor Wembanyama said. It's proving my point. See, all these past 5 years has done is shed light on reality that the Los Angeles Lakers, man, and I hate to keep referring back to this, but since they say the Lakers are the preeminent franchise of the NBA, well, they were led to make the greatest miscalculation. They devalued their whole existence in this league by casting out their young core. Other teams saw that. OKC saw it. Minnesota saw it. Phoenix saw it. Denver saw it. San Antonio. And particularly these small market teams. And then you have the Houston Rockets of the world, number 2 seed last year. Then you see the Orlando Magic of the world, the Cleveland Cavaliers of the world, the Boston Celtics at the time, uh, as they drafted Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown and whatnot, they was not going to trade them players away. And they was rewarded with the championship last year. So I just want to drop it real quick. And at the end of the day, it's all about respect to the game. You cannot sell out your own and expect to thrive for a long period of time. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. But what this proves, people, is that the building blocks of anything starts with the youth. Meaning, think about school. When you start off in school, you start off in preschool, kindergarten, grade school, middle school, high school, college, or trade school, right? Before you venture off into your adulthood in life. That's a natural order of things. You see what I'm saying? When you preempt that, realistically, how can you have a well-balanced view on life? Right? If you study to become a doctor, you can't just go into the operating room right away. You have to go to medical school and all that stuff and residency. Now, I'm not an expert on how to become a doctor. I'm just the basic principles. So at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is it applies to sports too. You can't reverse the process. You're better off going through point A to point B to point C. So when you reach the top, you look back on it and say, wow, man, this is special. That's why Oklahoma City celebrate the way they did. That's why Denver celebrate the way they did. That's why Giannis celebrate the way he did. The Kobe's, the George, the King Olajuwon, the Tim Duncans. They started from the bottom and worked their way to the top. And it starts with your youth. So kudos to Wembyama. And I'm telling you, when it's all said and done, the original young core of the Lakers are going to get their just due. They're going to get their shot. It's going to happen. And I'm going to be so happy because to understand their value, when you understand their value, then you can see why the Lakers have been struggling since that bubble. All the bubble is really a mirage. And it's confusing a lot of people who were led to believe this is the way to win. But it's not. It's really the way to lose. When you're supposed to be in win now mode and you're in disarray. But I can sit here and say Rob Pelinka has tried to correct the situation over these past couple of years. But what he's finding out is you can't replace the original representation of what your team was supposed to have been throughout this decade. See, it wasn't supposed to be about Luka or AD per se, or especially the Hurricanes. It's supposed to have been about the Randalls and the BIs and the Cools and the Harts and the Clarksons and the Lonzos, the Zubats, the Carusos. And then you bring the star player on your terms. Tell me, man. I'm telling you. But I just want to drop that nugget. Please leave your comments and thoughts. I would like your opinion on this, but I know I wasn't crazy. And now I'm just sitting here, man, just as they say back in the day, how you like me now? But until next time, JB, BTB, behind the